Welcome back to the Life of Phys Podcast. I'm your host, Tyson Martin. On this very special episode, I sit down with photographer Jens Ochlich to celebrate 2 years of this show, this community, and the incredible journey we've built together. Episode 93 marks a huge milestone. What started as a simple idea rooted in the belief that photography heals your soul has grown into something far greater than I ever imagined. Over the past 2 years, this podcast has become a platform for honest conversations, deep storytelling, and meaningful connections with creatives, entrepreneurs, and individuals from all walks of life who share a common thread of resilience, purpose, and passion. And it feels only right to mark this moment with a conversation that embodies everything this show stands for. Growing up in West Germany and now calling California home for the past 16 years, Jens brings a perspective shaped by two very different worlds. Coming from Central Europe, where cities and settlements often date back hundreds or even thousands of years, he developed a deep appreciation for history, permanence, and the slow evolution of place. His hometown, now officially over 750 years old, stands in stark contrast to the rapidly expanding and constantly shifting environments of the American West. That contrast has become the foundation of his creative voice. Rather than focusing on iconic skylines or postcard locations, Jens is drawn to the fringes of the city, the in-between spaces where civilization meet open land. He is fascinated by the strict lines between order and chaos, permanence and impermanence, from forgotten alleyways and sun-baked asphalt to discarded furniture of a consuming society. His images capture a visual archaeology of modern life. These environments, bleached by the relentless Southern California sun, become both subject and metaphor, revealing the quiet tension between progress and decay. A central theme in his work is Americana, often explored through the timeless presence of classic American cars. For Jens, these vehicles are more than objects. They are a symbol of a dream, a cultural mythology that shaped his imagination growing up in West Germany through American films and television. His photography reflects both nostalgia and curiosity, documenting the America he once envisioned and the one he now experiences firsthand. In this conversation, we talk about identity, belonging, and how photography becomes a bridge between past and present. We explore how places shape perspective, how memory influences creativity, and why the spaces we often overlook hold the deepest stories. Thank you to every single person who has listened, supported, shared, and believed in the journey over the past 2 years. This community means more to me than words can express, and this is only the beginning. If you've ever felt drawn to the quiet moments, the overlooked corners, and the deeper meaning behind why we create this episodes for you, now let's get to the show.
So my name is Jens Ochlich, or Ochlich, if you want to say it in proper German tongue shredder.
I'm gonna butcher that in your intro, and I'm gonna apologize now.
No, man, just say Ochlich. Ochlich is fine.
Ochlich?
Yeah, that
Okay.
works. Close enough. So I was born in West Germany in 1970 and came over to the United States, to California in 2000, and have been here ever since. First in the Central Valley in Modesto, 5 years, and then moved down here to the Carlsbad, Oceanside area in 2005, 2006, and been here ever since.
It's a beautiful area.
Yeah, I know. Especially coming from the Central Valley, man. It's like, oh, this is the real California.
Yeah, I remember going to Carlsbad for a couple of skateboard contests back in the
No
early
way.
90s. And my dream was I was going to move to California. I'm going to become a professional skateboarder, and this is where I'm going to be.
I mean, and it's all happening. I saw Caballero the other day riding his e-bike.
Yeah. He's episode 12 of my show.
Oh, no way, no way.
Yeah.
And the house where Gator, that poor girl, is right
Yeah.
across the railroad tracks from here.
Yeah, I guess a lot of people may not even know about Mark Gator Rogowski and the acts that he did.
Yeah.
When he was on top of the world, he was like the number one skateboarder in the world.
Yeah, I know, man.
My history runs deep in skateboarding, so
You probably know that documentary about him, right? Stoked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that thing, man. It's so good.
there's just it's a crazy world. I mean, you know, when you're at that level and then you start to lose that recognition,
Yeah.
what it does to you and all the concussions and head trauma that you suffer trying to get to that level. There's no excuse for what he did, but you can actually see it now that we know more about head trauma and we know more about these situations.
he also definitely had some narcissistic traits to him.
Just a few. Oh man. So Jens, when did you pick up a camera for the first time? And when did you know that like this is something that I want to really pursue and this is something that means a lot to me?
I dabbled a little bit way back in the film days with it, but never really followed through with it. And then in about 2006, over here in California, I got a book by Julius Schulman, the famous architecture photographer, and that kind of got me into thinking that I should try it myself, especially with those hard shadows here in California, which I just love. And I started buying like my first cheap digital Canon point and shoot camera, eventually graduating to my first Pentax in 2008 or so. And then I became 2006, and then 2008 and 9, I started really doing it a lot. And was trying to capture is really just this California that I always saw from a distance growing up in Germany, and I was trying to recreate it because it wasn't really there anymore by the time I came over here. So it's always like a longing there, to recreate those scenes I've seen in shows when I was a little kid, movies. That's why I like flare so much in lenses, because of always a big movie element. So yeah, and ever since, man, it's become almost like a second job. I want to say it's fun now. It's not a job. It's not work to me.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you use a modern body in vintage lenses.
Yeah, I started doing that about 3.5 years ago, and it was kind of scary jump at first because I was used to autofocus only.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden just manual, but man, it is fun, and it costs a lot of money because you can find lenses that you didn't think you need, but you do.
Yep.
Never spent that much time on eBay in my life before.
I went down, I had got, a friend gave me a Super Tacumar.
Oh yeah, there you go.
A 28.
Yeah.
And I was like, I put it on when I shot Fuji, I put it on the Fuji and I took a photo and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
It feels like you feel it in the photo instead of just that pure sharp. And then I went down the eBay and I basically went from 28 to 200 mil in the Super Tacumar, and I bought all of them.
I know, man.
You have a favorite
lens?
I'm
sitting right here. It's definitely the Pentax Tacumar 50 millimeter f1.4, the 8 element.
Oh, yeah. I've never shot it.
It's beautiful. There's not a really big difference between that and the 7 element. And I also love it because there's barely any coatings, so it flares like crazy. And it gets really psychedelic real quick. But yeah, that thing is just amazing. I love it.
So you're in California, you pick up a camera, you start to want to discover, America of the past, we'll call it.
Yeah.
The diners, the old school cars, just the vibrant colors of the buildings. Lucky enough, you have Route 66. You can capture a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
How long have you been really going after that style of photography? I found you on Instagram quite a few years ago now, and I was drawn instantly by the cars. I'm a car guy. And then I was drawn because growing up in Oregon, my grandpa would talk about his jaunts down Route 66.
Oh, wow. Amazing.
So I have this. I've never done it. So in the next year or two, I want to fly into LA and I want to hop on Route 66 and just go.
Yeah.
And just take my time and capture as much as I can across the United States on Route 66.
We should do it together, man. I would love to do that.
Right? Like it'd just be a fun trip and start to learn stories about these places. I love when I can take an image and learn the history.
Yeah.
What drew you besides, the movies and stuff? What was your biggest draw to that style of capturing images?
It's the expanse of the United States. First time I really drove through the desert was my parents were visiting from Germany, and we went to the Grand Canyon. I was like, holy crap, that desert. I just couldn't believe it. To me, it was more exciting than the Grand Canyon itself. To somebody from Central Europe, just the expanse and the emptiness of it is just mind-boggling. And then you have towns out there, who are just like these little dots of civilization in the middle of that gigantic desert. And the outskirts of those towns are just like, I don't know, it's just stops and then it's desert, which is just fascinating to me. You know, you got like paper bags, plastic bags flying around in the wind. It's just amazing. So it's definitely one big draw, you know, they always love. Um, Speaking of Route 66, there's a great YouTube channel, Sidetrack Adventures, if you want to watch it. I love that guy. He just goes out in the desert and finds these little spots and has all the stories about them. It's really awesome.
It was called Sidetrack Adventures.
Yeah, it's a guy from San Diego who just drives out in the desert and then makes super interesting movies about the things he finds out there.
Do you have a favorite place? Like a place that you can go back to, every single time you're going to get something?
Palm Springs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just went out 2 weeks ago for their Modernism Week in fall. Because I know people out there by now, two friends of mine who have a collection of old cars, and there's always something parked outside. That's like my go-to if I don't find anything anywhere else. A lot of my photos you see are like right there in front of their house,
Yeah.
But the light in Palm Springs is just, I don't know what it is, man. It's just beautiful. It is just amazing out there.
Do you ever feel awkward, especially when a vehicle is like in somebody's garage and you're standing in front of their house?
I do. I do. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I always, so where I live now on the west coast of Canada, my town is a hot rod town. So we have a huge hot rod event every year that basically shuts down the main strip of the street. That's pretty cool. So there's always old cars and hot rods, but I always feel so like standoffish if it's in their driveway or in their garage and I can see it. Well, especially, if you're shooting on 50 mil a lot, you're not that far away.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Right?
when the 200 Tacomar comes out, the 200 millimeter.
Yeah.
Keep a safe distance.
Have you ever had any problems with people coming out wondering what you're doing or?
Yeah, definitely people asking, because when I find a good car and I have to time, I'll photograph it for 30, 45 minutes from all angles.
Yeah.
And so when they see me and they're a little bit weirded out. One time I took a night photo of some beautiful Mercury in the dark, and this lady, she was just beyond suspicious what I was doing. I had my tripod set up and everything. I'm obviously not a burglar, but people do get suspicious because they don't immediately understand what you're doing. But they get super friendly once you tell them and that you actually really admire their car.
Yeah.
I've had that more often than not, that people just really start talking about it.
The car culture is an interesting place because obviously these people love the car that they have. So anytime you get a chance to tell another person about your car, they open up. And you could open up your Instagram and be like, this is who I am. Like, they'll see like, this is what you do. You're all over shooting this style of photo. And you're just making images from it. There's no ill will. There's no ulterior motive.
Yeah, that's what I do. You're right. Right. You're right. I show them my Instagram and then they understand, what I'm doing.
And then even the color profile you edit in has that retro vibe to it.
Yeah, I'm really trying to go for that. It's just, have you ever heard the term anemoia?
No.
It's a new word. Basically, it's the longing for a time that you have never experienced.
I suffer from that.
Yeah, I do too. So that's why I make these photos.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of like saudade, like that Brazilian word, for missing, but
Yeah.
it's yeah, for something you actually never experience. It's a longing. And that's basically what a lot of people suffer from, I think.
Yeah. I think one of the first photos, I'm a old school Volkswagen Beetle guy.
Yeah, nice.
The red with the white insert.
Oh yeah, that is my favorite beetle in the
Oh,
area. I see
so
that guy every
nice.
once in a while, and I always hunt him down because
Yeah.
that thing is so beautiful.
And I mean, you shoot your body of choice is a GFX, correct? A medium format
Yeah,
Fuji.
yeah. I'm on my second one now.
You
So
wore the first one out?
pretty much, yeah. And then when the GFX also the GFX 100 um has that little movable viewfinder,
Yeah.
that you can buy, that little adapter.
Yeah.
And that thing is just amazing. I couldn't live without it anymore.
Yeah. I did a run with a GFX 50R
Yeah,
and then the GFX 50S.
yeah, yeah.
And I couldn't get along with the S because I looked at it and it just looked like they forgot they were adding a screen and it had that little part that stuck out.
Oh,
I was just
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, I don't like it. I can't do it.
Yeah, I
So
know.
I love I've tried the 100 too. That was amazing. And then I've tried the Hasselblad, the X2D too. And that will definitely, one of those two will definitely be the next move for me.
Yeah.
And do the same thing. Shoot those vintage lenses through it, maybe some 645.
It's the same sensor, I believe, too, in
Yeah,
those two
between the two.
cameras. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
You disappeared on me.
oh yeah, you know what? Actually, you're right. My video turned off automatically. There you go. I went in standby or something. Um, Sometimes it's a bit challenging adapting those old lenses because, as you know, you don't cover the sensor all the way.
Yeah.
So got to work around it, but it's worth it.
It gets you that vibe of the era that you're trying to remember.
Exactly, yeah. There was a real liberation in a way because I gave up on trying to find sharpness. That was like always the first thing I looked at a new lens that got released. How sharp is it? I don't give a damn anymore.
Yeah.
The more painterly, the better, you
Yep.
know?
And
So,
that's what's so cool about capturing with the older lenses is when you sit there and you capture these images, you can feel it. It has
yeah,
that feeling of the era. They don't have
yeah,
these super
it's,
high-tech coatings.
yeah, you're right.
And sharpness really isn't that. I mean, it's important if you're a portrait shooter,
Exactly.
but if you're shooting stuff, if you look at like some of the greats,
Yeah,
a lot of their images aren't clear. They're not tack sharp.
that is true.
It tells a story, and that's to
Yeah,
me what photography is about.
yeah, I
Um,
totally agree there.
so when you're doing your stuff and when you sell prints and you have all your people can buy their photo, do you ever sell them to the people who own the cars?
I give them to them for free usually if they're in
Nice.
the region, and they either hit me up on Instagram, and then I meet up with them, and give them a print. That has happened a couple times. So I mean, it's them maintaining those cars. So I take a photo of it and eventually sell prints with those cars. At least I should give them something back.
Yeah.
It's my thinking, but they really appreciate it too when you do. I made friends that way.
Yeah. And I'm on your website right now and I'm looking at your Palm Springs photos and
Oh yeah,
with the architecture and those palm trees and the light, I can definitely see why that's a go-to.
yeah, I know. Especially the cars and the architecture combined. That's always the jackpot. That's
Yeah.
why Palm Springs is really the go-to. Already booked the next trip for February for the big modernism week, where
Nice.
they usually have cars parked in front of those houses. It's always like candy store time. I always
Yeah.
lose it. I get overwhelmed.
I'll have to add that to my calendar of must-hit events.
Yeah, it's gonna be February 14th and then throughout the week.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love your work. Like
Oh, thanks,
I'm a
man.
fan. And
I appreciate it.
I think the neatest part is that I love when I talk to people and you know they're doing it for themselves. This is their outlet. This is their way of relaxing and connecting. So part of the show is there's always a small part. To me, my creativity is very, very important to a positive mindset.
Oh, definitely.
If I'm stuck in the house, like today, I'm looking out the windows and it's pouring rain. That means there's no leaving the house to go shoot.
Hey, it sounds cozy to me here in Southern California. It's pouring sunshine here.
Yeah. And I know I have shows to edit, but I would love to just go out and shoot photos today. But I know, I have plenty of time because it's going to be sunny in 2 days.
Yeah.
And then I struggle with my own mental health when it's like this because I have so much I want to do, but I can't do. And then I sit there and I second guess if I should even bother, get in that spiral. So when I click the shutter, it is like an almost instant boom. I'm back out of it.
I agree. Same for me, man. It's just, when you frame a shot and you really concentrate and then you get everything lined up, there's a little bit like obsession about it too that gets fulfilled though when you get like this nice shot framed, and also when you got a good shot, you're looking forward to working on it. It's like a little gift you give yourself,
Yep.
It's always a good feeling.
100%. Do you ever have those moments where once you click that shutter and you quickly look at the image on the back of the camera and you just get excited because you nailed it?
Oh yeah. Yep. I know. What's also funny though is sometimes you take photos and you don't look at them for a couple of weeks and then you go back and then all of a sudden you actually see the value in it. You didn't recognize it maybe when you first took it. And those are always super rewarding as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes a photo from a year ago, they didn't think it was very good, but then it's like, damn, this is actually, a nice one. There's something definitely therapeutic about it,
Yeah, it really will pull you. I mean, when I found the camera, it was like my mom had just passed away. My ex-wife had just passed away a couple years prior.
Oh man, I'm sorry about that.
And then I was like, COVID comes, and I'm like,
oh God, perfect storm.
Yeah, and they're like, okay, well, you're off work we're going to close down for 3 months because nobody knows what's happening.
Jesus,
and I'm like,
man.
Okay, our government was giving us like $2,000 a month. I'm like, well, that's a fraction of my mortgage. But they're also giving us leeway on our paying our mortgages while this is happening. So I bought a Fuji XT3 and then I live on like a floodplain, like a wilderness area.
Yeah.
I just started walking through the forest every day for 3 months, anywhere from 6 to 8 hours a day.
Oh, wow.
And by the end of those 3 months, I could adjust and do everything with my camera with my eyes closed.
Yeah, amazing.
Right. And then now all I had to do was, then I was working on composition and I was working on kind of finding what meant something to me. And at that point, when I started, it was always like, it was wildlife and landscape. That's all I wanted to shoot.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, I'm a car guy. I've worked in the aftermarket car industry for 30 years. Actually 30 years in a few days.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. I'm going to start capturing like the lowrider shows or the cars and coffee events.
Yeah.
And then, no, I want to capture alleyways with graffiti and, so I pushed wildlife away and I'll do landscape occasionally, but there's something about history, capturing moments that are going to be gone soon that I just really love to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I do miss the forest though from Germany. I always be a forest kid,
Yeah.
As much as I love the desert, there's always this longing for the forest.
Yeah, I don't have much time in the desert. We're very west coast of Canada is very, very much about mountains and forests and
yeah, I've been in Victoria one day. So I was like back in '89 actually. So it was gorgeous though. Man, it was beautiful up there. But it sounds like a similar journey, because I did a lot of, at first, when I first got my cameras, I just started photographing everything really. And then eventually I got to my back alley phase like you did. And I was photographing dumpsters, and then somebody rode by on a bike and goes, "Hey, the sunset is on the other side." I'll never forget that.
That's funny. I had really bad burnout about a year and a half ago from taking photos. I just had a couple deals I had in place that they didn't fulfill. I fulfilled my end, but they never came through.
Yeah.
Owing me money, and it just really soured me on the business side of photography.
Yeah.
So one morning I was out, and I had basically put away every camera except for a small little Ricoh GR3X. It would just go in my bag with me every day. And I was walking through an alley, and I looked over, and there was one of the big blue recycle bins.
Yeah.
It had graffiti all over it, but then it had this thick, like ridiculously oversized chain around a pipe locking the
Amazing.
bin. And I captured that photo, and it was instant spark. Instant. Okay, I want to capture dumpsters with graffiti.
Yeah, I know, man.
Right? And then you start seeing like all the backgrounds. Okay, there's a dumpster with graffiti, but there's this weird like one-story spiral staircase right behind it.
Yeah.
So then you start putting these things together, and nobody's going to care about the photo, but it's enough to get me excited to shoot again.
I know. Pulled you back from the brink, huh?
Yeah. Do you ever suffer from any burnout shooting the style of photo you capture? Or is it refreshing because it's new all the time?
For a while, I had like two phases where I just didn't have much motivation for some reason. I think I just overdid it, and I just let it sit for like a week or two. But then, just like you just said, I just went out and I saw something and it was right back. It's interesting how that goes. Your dumpster story. So I had a phase where I would photograph abandoned shopping cars for like 2 years. I have like a whole series of abandoned shopping cars and called it Missing Shoppers. And
that's
I'm
awesome.
I think I should activate that on my website. It's actually there. I just have it hidden right now. But it's things like that, you just find this weird niche interest, and it makes it special because that's you.
Yeah, and it's a challenge. You challenge yourself. You're like, oh, I like this. I'm going to wander and see how many more shopping carts I can find in the weirdest places. That's it. I think that would be great. I think you should reactivate that. That's something that it helps people see that you don't have to like put yourself in one barrel. You don't have to be like,
you're right.
I'm only a portrait photographer. I'm only a no, just shoot your camera. Enjoy capturing life.
Yeah, I agree. That's one thing now. Sometimes I do pigeonhole myself a little bit. I do other stuff too than just cars. I do. When I was in Germany in May, I did so much nature photography, the forest, and just my parents' backyard, just all the flowers there and everything, and also just architecture sometimes. So if you ever go on my Flickr, you'll see all the other stuff too that I usually don't post on Instagram so much. But
so social media is a fickle beast.
Yeah,
I mean, most of your images on your Instagram are of cars, of Americana.
Exactly.
You feel like that is kind of what you're discussing about being pigeonholed. You don't want to mess up the look of it because it's also it's just all uniform.
Yeah, it's basically, at this point I have a feeling like that's my recipe for success, if you will. I don't want to mess with it. But I do throw in other pictures every once in a while. For a while I actually try to actively steer away from it. But then I always lose focus and go back to just cars, which is fine. I mean, I love taking those photos, and working on them.
100%. I fully get it. I mean, that's why I have my podcast website where it is strictly the image of the person for the episode. There's nothing else on there. It's all basically it's business.
Yeah.
And then I have my personal one where it could be a car, it could be a dumpster, it could be there's no rhyme or reason. I'm not someone who's out chasing a follower count. I'm just out to enjoy doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Obviously I'd love to see the podcast page take off and have a great following, because the show's been a lifesaver for me. It's been a ton of fun over the last year. It's almost 2 years. February is 2 years. So, but over the last 2 years, I've got to meet so many interesting people.
And I also appreciate you doing it,
and I appreciate that. And then trying to give people a space, to talk about what works and what doesn't, and let them others know who look at people on social media and like, oh, their life's way better than mine. No, we all have the same struggle.
Yeah.
We all have those moments where we hate everything we put out.
Yeah.
We talk negative in our minds to ourselves. Do you have any words of wisdom for anybody just getting started that wants to capture, not even Americana, but just something?
Yeah, in general.
Just something in general that they want to really push and get out there and do it.
I mean, when I first became serious about it, it wasn't a decision, I'll be serious about it. Now it just happened. I just started photographing more and more. And I was a bit lost probably the first 2 years, and I ran out of ideas what to shoot. And then I actually read a book about the new topographics photo movement. And that was something I liked, just I could identify with. So I did that for probably 2 or 3 years, basically just black and white, things of absolutely mundane urban details. And from there, I think it went, my liking for retro design and style kicked in, and I slowly went over to cars. But the main important lesson is to really just find what you like, and just do that. I mean, at some point, you're going to start seeing things that you never, because your senses get so keen on what it is that you like. At some point, you find things that nobody else would, walking by, even notice, and I think that's the biggest part of it, to be able to see those things. The capturing is the second part, but without seeing those things that you like, that trigger something in you, that's the main thing. Yeah.
Like, do you just wander? Or do you have like a set path where you're going to see these vehicles because you were wandering before and you captured them? Or do you just wander the streets and just capture what you see?
It's both. There's certain, you've probably seen a bunch of my photos that have they're right by the ocean.
Yeah.
Which is a street down over an Oceanside called the Strand, which that backdrop never gets old, which is just fascinating because it's so minimal and beautiful at the same time. So that's my main go-to, really, because it's beautiful to walk down there and there's always something happening. But other than that, I just also just walk around, and hope for something to happen. But there's a lot of time spent when nothing happens too. That's part of the game,
Yeah,
so many days where I come home.
That.
Yeah. It's like fishing, you go fishing.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't catch anything.
I have a group of people that I know that get frustrated when they go out and they don't come home with anything.
Yeah.
And I used to go out and it would be, wildlife, you'd go out and come home with 2,000 photos.
Yeah, I know.
And then landscape would be, you'd go out, you'd come home with a couple hundred photos.
Yeah.
A good day for me now is like 30, 35 photos.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Right.
It can be overwhelming too if you get too many photos,
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, that's a lot.
That's so true. It's so true to be overwhelmed. I shot a wedding for a friend and I loaded the card and it was 2,200 photos. And I was like, man, I don't even know what to do with myself.
Yeah.
This is the most photos I think this is more photos than I've shot in the last 4 years in one day.
Yeah. Holy smoke. Yeah. That's overwhelming because you got to find the ones that are better than the other ones, and that's a lot to look through.
Yeah. I just put them all on an SD card and sent it over to them and said, hey, you guys go through and you highlight the numbers that you like.
Yes, exactly.
And I'll edit them because I was overwhelmed.
Yeah, no, that's the way to do it.
So
I agree.
February is Palm Springs.
Yeah. That's the big modernism week. That's
why don't you
the
talk a little
week-long-
bit about that? As I'm trying not to sneeze into the microphone. So
Oh, go for it. I got my sneeze out of the way before we started.
There's something about it. We just transitioned into the rainy season, and
Yeah.
all the moisture brings everything out, and my allergies spark up this time of year every year.
Sorry to hear.
So why don't you tell me a little bit about this event that you're going to in February, and let the people know, because it sounds
Modernism Week.
extremely interesting.
Yeah, Modernism Week in Palm Springs. So they have a smaller one in October. I just went 2 weeks ago for 3 days, and then the big one in February. It's basically they're celebrating, since Palm Springs is basically the mecca of mid-century modern architecture, where it first became into fruition on a larger scale. Whole neighborhoods designed by Kreisel and all these amazing architects. And so basically they're celebrating that. They have lectures, walking tours. You can walk around those neighborhoods. They have home tours where you can actually go into those houses. And they always have lots of cars parked outside of those homes, which of course for me is the absolute jackpot, to get the architecture and the car together.
Yeah.
That's a time capsule right there. So my girlfriend, bless her heart, she always gives me plenty of time when we're there to get my two way too heavy camera bags and just wander off. So it's amazing.
Do you tripod shoot while you're there as well?
When I do night shots, so there's some 2 car dealerships who have classic cars in their showrooms, which is always amazing. So that's when the tripod comes out at night, when those cars are lit up in the showroom.
Yeah.
Just another scene from the past, basically. But yeah, I do some landscape too when I'm out there, because the desert landscape, you've probably seen it. It's just gorgeous. Coachella Valley, just a sea of palm trees down there. It's amazing.
Sounds like I need to make it to California.
Yeah, man, you should come out next in February. Yeah, there are a lot of events where you can you don't have to pay anything. You can, but you can just walk around and look at everything, in those neighborhood tours. It's pretty amazing.
That's amazing. Have you ever thought about putting a book together with the images you've captured?
Yeah, I have, but I lose focus too easily. So it's like even some actor from Germany who I always loved, who follows me on Instagram, said, if you put a book together of this, I would buy it immediately. He even offered to write the foreword for it, So I say, oh man, I really got to do it now, but I need to focus better.
We sound very similar.
There's just too much immediate stuff, and it's like distraction,
Yeah. And it's hard. Like, I think of some people who've put books out and they're like 3, 4, 5 years.
I know.
I'd be like, you did that over how long? I'd have to do it in like a week and a half. Because after that, I'm going to go and I'm going to be like, ooh, look at this. Oh, the book should be this.
Yeah, I know. I wouldn't have the stamina and the steadiness, I think, but I'll have to try at some point. There are a couple of guys in Palm Springs. Tom Dolly is one of them. He put out, I think, 1 or 2 books about classic cars. They have this event every other year, Cul-de-sac a Go-Go, it's called. Basically, it's the whole cul-de-sac in that mid-century modern neighborhood where they have cars in every driveway, and then also go-go dancers in the middle of it.
Oh, wow.
And he runs that usually. Yeah, it's amazing. It is really cool.
Palm Springs is just, I had this vision in my head of, I was trying to figure out a project, something that I could utilize old movie technology. So like take a scene from like Scarface or Goodfellas and find the booth and just recreate it with modern people.
Yeah.
Just
that'd be amazing.
Right? Like we used to have this old school spaghetti restaurant here in BC, and he had like the booths were velvet. Like
Oh, wow.
it was straight out of the 60s and 70s.
Amazing.
And it would have been perfect backdrop, you know, get a little smoke going through it. It was some
Yeah.
models capturing, dressed up as that, and just recreate certain movie scenes. And that lasted in my brain for about 13 minutes before I found something different. But
Yeah.
it's always there. You know what I mean? It's always there, wanting to do more and more and more. But a lot of people got to remember, we only have so much time in the day.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
agree. I'm just trying to get my print shop on my website off the ground finally, so where people can order prints directly. You know, and there's already so much time went into it. I think I
Yeah.
finally gonna get it going now. Like the print with the Buick and the big flares is up there for now, but I'm gonna add some more.
Yeah, I mean that is the best way to do it. I mean,
Yeah,
your images, I can picture them all over California in homes because they have that vibe of California,
yeah,
you know, and they obviously I can see them all over the world because, you know, they're incredible. But like
thanks, man.
I can really just see like in like those houses along the ocean, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Having those images there because it represents the area,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's basically the essence of what I was fascinated with as a kid was really California, you know, because most of those shows, like Rockford Files, uh, Streets of San Francisco, all of those were happening in California, most of
Yeah.
them in Southern California. So it's really just, yeah, like I said earlier, fulfilling this anemoia, you know, this longing for a place you've never been.
Yeah. You know, I've had so many different things. Diners, like we had this 50s diner in the small town I live
Yeah.
in. They just went out of business, but they
Oh,
have like
no.
the soda bar, you know, like the old school 50s bar.
Amazing.
Yeah. So I go and shoot it through the windows.
Oh,
It's still
man.
there.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I left a message. I'm like, hey, I would love to have, if you guys are okay, like if we'd open it for an hour, just let me
That'd
capture
be
these
amazing.
details,
Yeah.
you know? And then I was shooting, I had a Voigtlander 50 F2
Oh,
that I was
beautiful.
shooting on I shoot currently on the Nikon ZF,
Yeah.
and but the reflection through the window and the way that lens rendered, it gave it this natural old school vibe, like the
Yeah.
colors that it captured.
Amazing.
So I was like, oh God,
Do you
if
have
I could
that photo
just
up
get in.
somewhere?
I do.
Would love
Actually,
to
no, I
see
don't.
that.
I will send it to you.
Yeah, I would love to see that.
I just wiped out my my personal Instagram down to nothing to start over
Oh, wow.
because it was just like I do it like once every 2 years. I'm just
Oh,
like,
that's
I'm done. This isn't what I want. And it's my personal one. I'll do whatever I need to do on it just
yeah,
to excite
exactly.
myself, right? But yeah, I'll send that photo to you. I
Yeah,
have it.
speaking of shooting through glass like that, that's something I didn't discover until maybe 1 or 2 years ago, but it just adds something, you know, like an additional layer, like a veil of like memories and nostalgia to it, you know. Always love those shots. That's another thing too, you know, you learn over when you do it enough, you find these things that you like that you might not be aware of from
Yeah,
the get-go.
exactly. Sorry, I was just checking my doorbell camera. I was like,
Oh yeah, no,
who's at my house? I'm trying to find that photo for you now. Yeah, so like shooting through glass adds such a different perspective.
yeah,
You get like the reflection, but if you can light it up on just that perfect spot and you can
yeah,
capture the colors, it is so it can just do so much more for an image.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I was always drawn to those photos, but I didn't start taking them myself until recently. I love that. A good polarizer does good work too. If you have any reflections you don't want in the glass, you know, like a modern car or something,
Yeah.
polarizer takes it right out.
Yeah, I just started shooting a lot of, like I was saying, the cars and coffee events. And the first one, no polarizer. Everyone after that, the polarizer was
Yeah,
just glued to the camera.
it can totally save your picture, you know.
Yeah. The one thing I wish up here when they did the cars and coffee events is that they would space their cars a little bit more.
I hear you. And close the hood, maybe. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
that
I
is the
understand
worst,
they
man.
love their motor and they've spent all this time, but yeah, I would love to have the clean lines of
Yeah,
of the vehicle.
See, another plus for Palm Springs, they had an amazing car show there, and the hoods were all closed because they were supposed to.
Even better. That's the best. You had no problem with any of the lines.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to me, the car is the lines of the outside. I understand, like, people want to they have their big power motors and they want to show them off, but when the hood's up, it distracts from the actual vehicle.
I know. We're photographers, not mechanics, man. Close the hood.
Well, I am a mechanic full time.
No, I hear you.
I mean, not anymore. I don't actually wrench on cars. I sell people their dreams now, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
As a photographer, looking through his Instagram reel, Instagram photos, trying to find the image to show you, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, I know. Speaking of social media, Instagram, so I have to admit, like, one of the big reasons why I post there is really to also attract sales. Like, I got a couple of deals with, like, interior architecture deals through Instagram who saw my stuff, and then they said, we have a hotel in Nashville and we need 20 prints of this photo. So
nice.
It's actually business more so than social media for me. It's why I care about a follower count or getting my stuff seen. It's marketing.
Yeah.
To me.
I went back into the Life of Phys one, and I rewrote every single comment or every single description of each episode.
Yeah.
Just to try and, because I'm in a business course and I'm learning about optimization and catching the keywords and stuff I never even thought about.
I know. Same here.
But I shot up 100,000 views in 4 days.
Amazing.
So it works. It's a lot of work. And then I realized when I looked at it on the phone, each image was actually stretched too far, so you couldn't actually read what it said.
Yeah.
So I had to go in and crop every single image and then start over because I couldn't. I didn't want to you can't change the photo once it's posted.
Yeah, I know. Man, those are the things, learning the hard way.
Oh.
But there's a whole different world out there from besides taking the actual photo if you put it out there on social media and elsewhere.
Yep.
Website. I mean, I got to put time into get the SEO going on there and that sort of junk.
Yeah, it's I found them. So just give me a second here. I'm gonna post it here real quick.
One thing we were talking about earlier about the old lenses and their imperfections, I always compare photography to, or just learning photography to being in a band, and I always thought that these old uncoated lenses are like a photonic wah-wah pedal, You just have all these funky little quirks and everything.
Yeah, so if you hop on my personal one, so just at Tyson Martin, I just posted the one I shot through the glass on the Voigtlander with the stock color profile out of the camera.
Oh yeah, oh man, it's gorgeous. Holy shit, dude.
That is completely nothing. That's right out of the camera through the
your first that's amazing.
Right out of the that Voigtlander, and I sold it. I sold the Voigtlander lens, and I sold it because I was like, I really want to shoot. I want to capture people. So I was like, I need a portrait lens because I want to really do it. So I sold it to end up with an 85 1.8, which I just got. So I'll probably use once or twice a year. And then in my head, I'm like, I should have kept that Voigtlander.
I know. I hear you. Done that same mistake before. That's beautiful. And the low sunlight.
Yeah. That was
That's gorgeous.
About an hour after sunrise, and the light just was right behind
that's in the
me.
morning even.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, first thing. I shoot mainly early mornings. I don't want a lot of people around.
Yeah.
So I really like to get up early and go and capture the moments and then be back home while it gets busy.
That's beautiful, man.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, really gorgeous.
I've got a few more that I'll That's the style of stuff that's probably gonna end up on this page.
Yeah.
I have a whole bunch of old school cars in the same colors, and like this is for me. It used to be like, oh, look at this is connected to the podcast, but now I want myself to be kind of separated.
Yeah.
Because I've become the face and the voice of the show, but I also want to let people remember, like, hey, like I'm an artist over here. Like the show is to compliment myself and to compliment the people I have on. This isn't what I do. Well, I might as well say I do it full time right now because I'm crazy busy between now and December. But
yeah, I know it's crunch time.
Yeah, you got any words of wisdom for people just getting going?
It's really find your passion, and that might actually take a while until you find it. Don't expect to. If some people have a passion right from the get-go, like I wasn't sure what mine was when I first started, besides just taking photos. But basically, just find what you like, take it from anywhere. If it's a movie, you like a movie scene that speaks to you, like the aesthetics in it. Another photographer, I mean, I like anybody, referring to music again, we get influenced by a band that we hear. If you start a band of your own, you're first gonna play in their style. You might even cover some of their songs, and that's what I did in photography. I basically imitated photographers' styles, and eventually it distilled. It's basically a distillation. If you keep doing it, you'll find your own little niche within that. And once you find that, it's candy store time. You just go after it. And then at the same time, after the distillation, it's kind of like you fan out again a little bit and you find new things that you like within that. So it's a never-ending, interesting process. And speaking about mental health and that, it is very satisfying, and I think just expressing yourself that way is really therapeutic.
I agree.
Yeah.
I can be having the worst day ever, and I go for a walk and I shoot one thing, and it's just the feeling of the camera and the process. It helps you forget about some of those stressful moments that you're having, and it just brings that excitement back into your life because you're capturing something in the way you see it.
I know.
And I do the same with, even when I if I go in to edit things, I know a lot of people want to keep it like a certain look. I just edit how I feel that photo should be edited.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's crazy vibrant. Sometimes it's very moody. Sometimes it's just a natural image.
Yeah.
Right? It's how I feel because it's art.
And you should. Yeah. I mean, it's like all the great artists, they didn't become great artists because they followed some trend or something. It's just they fully express themselves, Picasso, Pollock, whoever, That's definitely true. Yeah, it's I have some bouts of anxiety every once in a while, but as soon as you look through that viewfinder and focus on a shot, it's completely gone. It's just zen at that moment. So it's a good thing.
Especially shooting with the GFX and that unique shutter sound. Click.
Yeah, I know.
I actually thought my GFX was broken when I got it.
Really?
Yeah. Well, it's like I'd never heard a shutter like that. Because it goes click.
Mine doesn't do that actually, I don't think. No.
Oh, the 50R and the 50S both had.
See, I never had any one of those. Yeah. That's interesting.
And I learned that even though you heard the shutter click, it was actually when it made the other noise when it took the image.
Oh, I see.
You had to hold really still for that fraction of a second.
Yeah.
And let it take the image. So I learned a lot about that camera. It was awesome. I wish I still had one of them, but my photography varies so much that it's hard to keep all the different bodies that I would need to shoot all the different things I want.
Yeah, I know.
I have one now that it's okay at a lot of things.
Yeah.
And eventually I'll add another medium format into the mix.
Yeah, I love it. I love the GFX. I mean, the fascinating thing about any mirrorless camera really is that you can put these old lenses on there. And I wish some of those guys who designed those lenses back there could see
Yeah.
That they're having a whole second new life,
Yep.
That'd be so amazing for one of those guys. They probably thought those things are just gonna rot away, and no, it's a whole different life for them again.
Yeah. Well, Jens, where's the best place for people to find you?
Do you mean on the internet or in
Yeah.
real life?
Where can they contact you if they have any questions?
Definitely on Instagram. Just actually DM. Now it gets too filtered. I'd say at my email, Jens at autobahn66 or autobahn66.com. That's my email address. Otherwise, send me a DM on Instagram. I'll be better about checking those messages that get filtered.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I will include all your links in the show notes for the show. If you have an image you want me to use for your episode, if you could just email it over to me. So one of your cars, whatever you want.
I'll send you a Buick with the big flares.
Yeah. And then if you want to offer any insight for a bio that I read before, I do all the intros afterwards. So anything you want to have in your bio that you want people to know, I'll add it in and then do the intro.
Sounds good, man.
Awesome, my friend. Well, if I make it to California, we'll definitely have to get together.
Dude, if you ever do that Route 66 tour,
yes, sir.
call me in. That's something I always wanted to do.
Yeah, I'm. It's going to happen sometime in probably next 2 years is my goal. Be able to take a month and just go.
Probably gotta stop every half mile though for photos.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long journey, but it'll be worth it. Perfect,
That'd
man.
Be amazing, man.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks, Tyson.
Thank you for tuning in to the Life of Phys Podcast. I hope today's conversation brought you insight, inspiration, or just a fresh perspective on the creative journey. If you enjoyed the episode, be sure to follow, rate, and leave a review wherever you listen to podcasts. It really helps us grow and reach more listeners like you. For updates, behind-the-scene content, and more, please follow us on all social medias at LIFE_OF_PHYS. And don't forget to check out the show notes for links and resources from today's episode. Until next time, stay curious, stay creative, and keep living the life of creativity.